Hello everyone, I'm Monina. I'm BS-ENTREPRENEURSHIP from Western College of the Philippines. So I am here to tackle a short information about human trafficking in the Philippines. So this study was conducted to better understand the phenomenon of trafficking and organized crime. According to the U.S. Department of State's, Philippines is with one of the largest migrant population in the world. Due to the scarcity of employment opportunities in the Philippines, many Filipino people was forced to seek employment opportunities abroad for their family. The most common human trafficking recruitment method is false promises of job placement through the use of threat, deception, and fraud for the purpose of sexual exploitation or forced labor. Traffickers attack economically disadvantaged people through the use of debt-based coercion or a promise to work to attract their victims. Men, women, and kids, and also children are being exploited to earn money. So this study will examine the activities of human trafficking. Then the two main types of human trafficking occurring in the Philippines are sex trafficking and labor trafficking.
Hello guys, my name is Jhes G Sarabia, and today we're going to talk about our research in human trafficking. But before we go in our research in human trafficking, I'm going to talk about human trafficking first, so that you guys have a better understanding in our research. Now, let's start. I think some of you knows that human trafficking is illegal or a crime against other people. Now, human trafficking is illegal act of transporting or coercing people in order to benefit from their work or services for free, in typically some form of sex exploitation and also forced labor. But before we go into this too, we're going to talk about our research first. Now, I'm going to read the context of our research and then I'm going to explain it so that you guys have a better understanding of it. Now let's go to our research. Now let's go in our research about human trafficking. So in here, according to our research, human trafficking is a crime against humanity. As I said earlier, human trafficking is illegal and also it is illegal in many countries. So in here, in the first one, we're going to talk about how the Philippines made a law in order to prevent human trafficking in our country, the Philippines. So they made the law RA 9208, the Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act of 2003. It is a penal law against human trafficking, intercourse tourism, intercourse slavery, and also child prostitution. Now, we're going to talk about how hard it is to eradicate a crime or a certain issue in some countries and also in our country, the Philippines. So, in cutting-edge situation, all international locations have issues to deal with. So, as I said earlier, sinasabi dito na bawat bansa o bawat country ay merong mga problema na kanila nire-resolba. Kagaya na lang sa Ukraine. Yung problema nila sa Russia o yung war nila against Russia at kung paano tayo naapektuhan nito. Ganon din yung Pilipinas. Meron din tayong mga problema na kailangan natin resolbahin, yung mga crime na kailangan nating sugpuin. So, crime is the most hard to eradicate. So, bakit nga ba mahirap eradicate yung crime? Dahil sila ay organized. Mas organized sila sa management ng bansa. Kaya mas mahirap sila ma-eradicate and mas mahirap din silang sugpuin. So, government management has led additional to make bigger in syndicates, which include human trafficking held by way of the syndicates. It is difficult to clear up. As I said earlier, mahirap silang sugpuin. And patuloy pa silang nag-i-increase. According to our new research, there are a specific source of trafficking. So, yung sinabi ko kanina, di ba? Sex exploitation and also forced labor. So, meron din dito, iba. Ito naman ay yung trafficking for the elimination of organs o yung pagbebenta ng mga bituka sa ibang bansa para kumita sila. And also people smuggling, yung pagkidnap ng mga tao para ibenta sila sa ibang bansa. Thus, in fact, the Philippines has two types of human trafficking. So, ito yung sinabi ko, yung sex exploitation and also forced labor. So, Now we're going to the next part. So in this part, we're going to talk about the number of Filipino victims that have been victimized by human trafficking. O yung mga bilang ng mga Pilipino na na-victimize ng human trafficking. So, let's start. In here, this part in 2021, the Department of Foreign Affairs or the DFA said that it identified 248 conceivable victims of human trafficking overseas from July to December 2021. So, ito yung mga Pilipino na nabiktima nga ng human trafficking. In most cases in the Middle East and Asia, in contrast to 2,429 in the preceding reporting period. In addition to the victims recognized through the government, NGOs, and an international organization mentioned identifying 985 victims of sex trafficking. So, dito naman, sasabihin natin yung mga bilang ng mga Pilipino na nabiktima. 228 men, 742 women, and 197 boys. And 6 adults aged girl labor trafficking victims as a stage in the reporting period. So, inaano dito ay yung mga sex exploitation ay yung 985 and yung 6 aged girl na forced labor naman. So, dito naman sa according to the UST 2022 record referred to the authorities lacks a dependable mechanism. So, meron sila wala silang system na nagpe-prevent or nagre-reduce ng mga biktima ng human trafficking. So ibig sabihin nun ay yung mechanism na ginagamit nila ay hindi effective. Now let's go to the next part.
Two types of human trafficking in the Philippines. So the case of human trafficking is significant in the Philippines due to the poverty where many Filipinos are forced to do bad things just to earn money to support their families. And other parents are unemployed, so their children were forced to work often as young under 15 years old, which is why many children do not finish school. In the Philippines, there are two types of human trafficking: sex trafficking and labor trafficking. So what is sex trafficking? Sex trafficking is a form of modern-day slavery in which individuals perform commercial sex through the use of force, fraud, or coercion. It has been called a form of modern slavery because of the way victims are forced into sexual acts non-consensually in a form of sexual slavery. In research from Jhes G in the Philippines, traffickers generally recruit girls and boys from villages and rural areas by baiting them with the promise of quick and effortless cash. They are then bought for intercourse in publics, karaoke, bars, nightclubs, on the streets, or via social media. Labor trafficking. So what is labor trafficking? Labor trafficking is a modern form of enslavement in which individuals carry out work or services. The majority victims of labor trafficking are males because they are effective in handling tasks that requires a muscular strength, and they are typically exploited in the fishing, shipping, construction, manufacturing, and agricultural sectors and many more.
Now we're going to the next part. So the next part is the 3 elements of human trafficking. The first element is act, and the second element is means, and the third element is purpose. So, ano yung acts? The acts is what is done. So ito ay ang forced labor is encountered when the trafficker recruits, accommodates, transports, provides, or gets a person to work for services. So doon naman tayo sa means. Tapos yung means naman ay kung paano nila ito ginagawa. Ayun nga, ginagawa nga nila yung force, o kaya ng pagkikidnap, o kaya naman ay pagtatransport, o kaya naman ay debt manipulation. So, ano yung debt manipulation? Debt manipulation ay yung pagmanipula nila ng iyong utang. Patatayasin nila ito ng patataasin hanggang hindi mo na ito mabayaran. Tapos din naman tayo sa pangatlo, o yung purposive element. It is the places emphasis on a perpetrator's goal of exploiting a person work or services. Ay kung ano yung purpose ng pagkikidnap nila. Ayun nga, yung pag-work or services, yung sex exploitation, forced labor, o kaya naman ay pagbebenta ng mga organs. And now we're going to the next part. And this next part is the causes of human trafficking in the Philippines. So, many causes human trafficking in the Philippines, and the number one of them is poverty. I guess you all know why it is poverty. Because many people have been unemployed because of overpopulation. So some of the people can't have jobs and can't find jobs that is suitable for them. Because of that, some of the human traffickers prey on the poor people o yung mga mahihirap. Parang sinasamantala nila yung mahihirap at bibigyan sila ng false promises na bibigyan sila ng trabaho, pero sa totoo nun ay sikreto silang ibebenta sa ibang bansa. Kaya pag kayo ay inanyayahan na bibigyan kayo ng high paying jobs o yung matataas na sahod, ay huwag kayong maniwala. Una ay imbestigahin nyo muna para hindi kayo mabiktima. So sa second part naman ay large debt. So sa large debt naman ay pautangin kanila ng pautangin hanggang hindi mo na mabayaran yung utang na inuutang mo sa kanila. So because of that ay pagbabayarin kanila sa different way o sa ibang pamamaraan. Ayun nga ay ang sex exploitation and also forced labor. Depende kung saan kanila ibebenta. Now, pupunta naman tayo dun sa pangatlo sa causes of human trafficking. So, sa pangatlo ay unemployment. So, bakit unemployment? Dahil tayo ay maraming ating populasyon at limited ang ating jobs na available. Ang mga tao o yung mga people ay hahanap sila ng trabaho o yung high-paying job para matustusan yung pangangailangan nila. So, doon sila naloloko ng mga human traffickers or doon sila binopolize ng mga human traffickers. So, doon naman tayo sa pangatlo. So, sa pangatlo naman ay ang inflation. So, sa inflation naman ay dahil tumataas yung mga kailangan nating bayaran o dahil tumataas yung mga bilihin, ay kailangan nating kumuha ng malaking trabaho. So, sa malaking trabaho na yon ay binibigyan tayo ng false promises of job ng mga human traffickers. So, yung mga nauuto ay susundin nila yung human traffickers pero hindi nila alam na nabenta na sila.
According to new research, victims of human trafficking can ride devastating psychological consequences for the duration of and after the trafficking experience. Many survivors may additionally give up, experiencing post-traumatic stress, concern in relationships, depression, memory loss, anxiety, fear, guilt, shame, and different extreme types of intellectual trauma. Human trafficking is a massive trouble in the modern society, and victims have intellectual and bodily scars. People want to be extra aware of the scenario and how terrible it simply is. More than 120 nations of trafficking young people, and it is escalating. Especially with this pandemic triggered by means of COVID-19, instances of trafficking have increased. We believe we all have a role in this world. So by creating some ways to prevent and help fight human trafficking, we must bring awareness to our surroundings, specifically to our friends, relatives, family, and someone who is alone and vulnerable. And also know about human trafficking and be careful with the strangers you talk to. And call the National Human Trafficking Hotline if you notice suspicious activity. Being alert is far from harmful.